Sargam Koushal is a very genuine, normal person. I heard someone say that yesterday was my 1 year crowning anniversary of Mrs. India. It was yesterday, a year ago, when I became Mrs. India. And one of my friends told me this, and I take pride in that when people say that the crowning has not changed you, your reign has not changed you. You're still the same person, and you still talk to your friends. You still, talk to everyone, and you don't feel that air in you. So I feel that that kind of defines not me, but I think my parents, because that's how they've raised me to be humble, to be kind to people, and that's kind of the legacy that I want to take forward with me. That's me. That's how Sargam is. So, not a lot of people know about it. That I was. People think I'm from Mumbai. I'm not. I was. I came to Mumbai 2 years ago, and before that, I was in Jammu and Kashmir. I've been born and raised in Jammu and Kashmir. Um, so has my husband. I've spent almost like 27 years of my life in Jammu with my parents. Um, and yeah, I did my schooling there, my college, my first job. And another thing that not a lot of people know is that I was a teacher. I used to teach high school English literature.
As you said, you were a teacher. What made you quit your job and start your career as a model?
There's not. I did not quit because I felt it was not a good job. I loved teaching. Teaching really brings me alive. You know, being with children, being with teenagers, and listening to them, and listening to whatever they have to say about the world. That is beautiful. But I also felt that I was a little overburnt when it came to my working hours, and I also felt that I wanted to try something new in life because I've always been a very passionate person. Trying new things every other year. Someday I want to become a gymnast. Someday I want to become a dancer. Sometime an actor, maybe a doctor. I don't know, whatever. So that was one of the reasons when I thought, why not? And also because my father has been one of those supporting people in my life who always wanted me to try something new, especially modeling and pageantry. And I thought, why not? Let's try and live one of his dreams through me.
Your family supported you in your decision about becoming a model?
Oh, absolutely. I'm really thankful to the kind of family that I've got. My parents, my husband, they all have supported me through all the thicks and thins of this whole career shift. Pageantry is really loved in India, and people really appreciate how the girls are doing so well. But when it comes to married women, people have a very different perception of married women. Seeing them on television and seeing them, showcase their beauty or their talent, bodies, or whatever, intellect. That is something that people do not really appreciate a lot still in conservative societies. And there, I felt that my parents became those role models for me and the society, and also my husband. They became those role models for a lot of people to look, from a lot of people to learn from. So now, whenever I see my parents talking about my victory or my husband talking about my victory, I see a new India in them. I see a new society coming forward, and that's what really made my victory worthwhile.
So, what is one of your best memory till now in your career?
The best memory. Yes, okay. So it's a little emotional one for me. When I won Mrs. World, I won the pageant on the 17th of December, and I couldn't take any phone calls because, I was really busy with the whole party and the celebration that was going on. I received a text from my father 2 nights later, and he wrote in that text that you have made me the happiest man in the world. I do not want anything else in my life now. Everything that I wanted, every dream that I had, you made it come true, and so now I can die a happy man. That to me is the, I think for every child, that is one thing that every child would want, for their parents to be proud of them. And I think I achieved that. So yeah, that was my favorite memory.
How did you feel when you were crowned Mrs. World? I think this question you have been asked many
Lots
times.
of times, but yeah. Okay. I wouldn't say being Mrs. World was a dream come true. It would be an understatement, actually, because I had never dreamed of becoming Mrs. World. I had dreamed of becoming a very successful person. I had dreamed of becoming someone who could inspire others, but never someone, who was the center of spotlight. But when it happened, it was one of those moments when you're spellbound and you don't know what to do. You want to cry, but you're not able to. You want to you want to smile, but you can't, and you're just in shock. And that was that moment. But I also remember people in the audience. They were not Indians. Uh, there were just very few Indians over there. Those people in that hall were cheering India, and that was something that gave me goosebumps while I won.
What are your responsibilities as Mrs. World?
Yes, so this is a very important question, actually, because a lot of people think that when you become a beauty pageant winner, there's not much that you have to do. Only show up at places and wear good clothes and meet new people, and that's what people think beauty pageants are all about. But beauty pageants also come with the beauty of your heart. That is the platforms that they support. Every beauty pageant supports multiple platforms or one platform, whatever that is. And similarly, Mrs. World supports a platform which is about opioid addiction, and we talk to people. We make people aware of how opioids are ruining lives of people, and how can we support them, how can we rehabilitate them, how can we make programs to rehabilitate their families of people who have been addicts for a long time, and how can we bring them back into the society, how can we re-establish them in the society. That is what Mrs. World is doing. That is what my responsibility as Mrs. World is. And I try to do as much as I can. There are other things that I'm very passionate about, which is, self defense in young girls. We talk about that a lot in Mumbai when I go to schools and colleges, and we conduct workshops over there. Also, I really want people to be more open about talking, more open about mental health and talking about it, and not being not feeling shameful in admitting that yes, we have a problem, and yes, we want to go to therapy, and yes, we need support. So these are a few things that a Mrs. World has to do. Yeah.
How do you deal with negative comments?
A very important question this is, because this was something that I was asked when I became Mrs. World. The final question that I got was, what is the one thing that you would want to change about social media? And the only thing that I feel that social media needs to change about itself is the way people think that they've got the license to comment on anyone and everyone, be it however bad it may be, and they're okay with it. So that is something that beauty pageant winners also face a lot. Women who are into what people think is the glamour industry, women, such women face these problems a lot. Even I have faced that, and I'm sure women in Mauritius also would be facing them a lot. The only way to actually you know uh, deal with these negative comments is not to pay any attention to them. One, if they are that bad, if you think that they are harming you in any way, if they are um, demeaning you in any way, I think it is best that you take some action, some legal action. You know, we have cyber cells, we have people who want to make sure that these people are put behind bars and they are taught a lesson. So always, always seek help. There, if there's a problem, there are people who are ready to help us too. So do take help, and do not think that this negativity comes from you. This negativity comes from the people who are negative, their insecurities, their shortcomings in life. So it has nothing to do with you, it has everything to do with them. You are doing great, and so be confident about that.
You have any advice for all women?
um, I think my only advice to women would be to, how we have this habit, that's how we've been raised, I think, as women from conservative societies, that we always put ourselves the last. We take care of our families, we become mothers, we become wives, we become daughters, and we forget to be ourselves. And that is really something that we need to think about, because the day I started thinking about myself and my dreams, uh, I became a new woman. And that is something I would really appreciate women from all across the globe to think about, that whenever you look into the mirror, do you see just a mother, just a wife, just a daughter, or do you see yourself? And do you see a happy you? If you see a happy you, then you're doing a great job. And if not, it's time you step up.
What's your vision for the future?
I've always wanted to be a successful person, of course. Everyone wants to be successful. Um Famous, no, but rich, yes. I really wish that, all my dreams come true. If not all, at least, 80% of my dreams come true. I wish to have a happy family. I wish to have a happy home where I can put away all my baggage and be myself. And I also wish from the bottom of my heart to be the change that I always wanted to see in the world. um, I want to be the change for women of my society, of my state, of my country. I want to be that change. I want to be that woman they can look up to, and they learn from. I don't mean to be the best woman in the world, but I do mean to be somebody who's righteous, somebody who can differentiate between right and wrong. And I want to be that teacher and a learner, of course, all my life.
Are you thinking about joining the Bollywood
The
world?
Bollywood one, of course. I would love to, if I get an opportunity, nothing like that. So if I'm just giving an open letter to everybody. If there is anyone, if you have any work for me, please, I'll be happy to do it. I've always loved Bollywood. I've loved movies, and yeah. So please.